Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. Welcome you to your Wednesday morning slow flow. My name is Norma, if we've not had a chance to meet yet. So you can arrive and get comfortable on your mat. We're going to start in Shavasana today. Just a few reminders that you want to be laying on a yoga mat or something comfortable that is supporting you. We don't need any props today, but if you do have yoga blocks, we are going to do a balance pose. So that may be just help you lengthen your arms a little bit. Practice at your own level. Options will be given, and take sips of waters at any time. Whenever you're feeling like you want to take a break, you can always go back into a child's pose or to downward dog as your home base. So we're going to get ready to get started because I think it's 7:30 now. So I'm going to be sitting up to start class today. Actually, we have 1 minute out. So if you've arrived already, go ahead and get comfortable on your mat. We're starting Shavasana this morning. I'm just going to remain in a seat for the opening and the closing today. So wherever you are, if you're just arriving, no rush in the world. Take your time to get settled in a comfortable position on your back, and we will begin. So taking this moment to find that spot that feels comfortable to you, that you're feeling supported by your mat. Let yourself wiggle into any position that feels more comfortable for you, that you feel grounded and arrived. Stretch your toes out long to the corners of your mat. Hands can be by your side. Maybe hands one heart to belly, one heart, hand to heart. Just taking these first few minutes to arrive. Bringing your awareness into your breath now. And always just observation, no judgment. Doing a quick scan, how am I feeling this Wednesday morning? Is there any area in my body that may feel sticky or a little tight? Maybe send some breath into that area. So allowing this breath to allow you to soften and arrive. Allowing the tongue to drop away from the roof of your mouth. Turning the corners of your mouth into a smile. Allowing your shoulders to fall away from your ears. Feeling that nice support of your mat, the back of your shoulders. Maybe switch your breath now. Invite a breath that enters your nose and exits your nose. Just with a slight constriction in the back of your throat. I wanted to talk about elements today. So the ancients believed that there was 4 elements that everything was made up of and was essential for life, and that if we balance these elements, we may have a better psychological and physical well-being. So we've been touching on chakras a little bit, and these 4 elements align with our chakras as well. So these 4 elements are fire, which is our solar plexus, houses our passion, our inspiration, our fire in our belly, as I often say in class. Water, which we experience water, the flows in our vinyasa classes, that's in our sacral chakra. And that's where we hold our emotions in our hips. Also, our intuition lies there. And if you often think about this give and take, this infinity symbol, if you imagine your pelvic bowl, when we're feeling balanced, there's a nice ebb and flow there. So you kind of can even think and imagine water flowing there, staying there, flowing freely. air, which is aligned with our heart and throat chakras. We talked about our heart chakra last week, Anahata, and that's about communication. So sometimes when that area is blocked, we may not be able to express ourselves properly, or maybe react out of anger. And then root, our earth. So we talked about Muladhara, our root chakra, a few weeks ago, and that's all about grounding and stability. So we're just going to play with all those elements today through our class. So I've brought in some poses that will touch on each of the elements, and hopefully after the next 30 minutes you'll feel complete and that you're balanced and ready to go on with your day. So just focusing back onto our breath now, maybe thinking of that breath being like a flow of water. Can you think about inhaling and just maybe even seeing a stream of water coming in through your nostrils, entering your chest, going down into your lungs, and then exhaling out of your nose, and just feeling that nice inhale and exhale, knowing that you're safely held here. Beautiful, guys. So we're going to start to wake up ourselves now, encouraging any small movements. Maybe stretching your hands overhead, long stretch before curling up into a little ball, and then rotating onto one side or the other. And I'm going to join you in a cat-cow to warm up our spine. So always starting with a good foundation as we build here. So with our first cat-cow, our fingers are spread out wide. Our shoulders are stacked on top of elbows, on top of wrists, and the inside of our eyes of our elbows are facing forward. Toes can be tucked or toes can be flat on the mat, your choice. So looking to link our breath with our movement as we always do, and then just maybe imagine that breath traveling. So inviting a cat on your exhale. Inhaling, cow, pressing our tail long behind us. Curling belly to button to spine. And offering any movement that your body may be craving here. Slowly waking up our body. And then maybe thinking about those elements that we're speaking about earlier, thinking about that breath traveling through your body, and maybe envisioning that fire in your belly as we're warming up, as our belly button comes to spine, heating up our solar plexus. Returning to a neutral spine, just taking our hands just a smidge forward, bending your toes now if they're not already flexed, pushing gently into your hands as you lift your hips up and back to our first inversion of downward facing dog. So again, offering your body anything that it's craving here, inviting that fluidity, that water movement, water element, what feels good in your body right now. Maybe lifting and lowering your heels. Always awareness that your heels may never touch the mat, and that's okay. We're looking to lengthen our tail long behind us as we pour our heart through the windows of our eye. Our arms, our biceps are lining up with our ears. Can we take an inhale together? Exhale, sigh, let it all go. Looking to the top of your mat and traveling there. You can walk, you can step, or you can jump if that's in your practice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, fold it in. Before we rise and shine all the way up. Taking hands first to our heart, and then standing in our first mountain pose, our Tadasana. feeling that connection once again, this grounding. Your feet are flexed, toes are firmly planted into the ground, just like that stability that we were feeling with our hands in our cat-cow pose. Once again, inhaling, taking hands to heart, sitting back in your chair. Returning to that fire element, feeling that fire connect a little bit in our belly, belly buttons to spine, our tails lengthening long behind us, reaching behind to the backs of our legs. You can still see the toes of your feet. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to our first vinyasa. So high or low plank, what is serving you today? I'm gonna come down to my knees. Chaturanga Tadasana, you push up all the way down. Leaving hands under our shoulder. Can you breathe out just to a little baby cobra as we warm up? Exhaling, tucking your toes, pushing up to your downward facing dog. Always an invitation to travel through Travel on your way there. Can we take our right leg up behind us? Looking forward, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Taking our left foot now on a 45, just a few inches up our mat. Can you come up into Warrior One? So Warrior One is sometimes tricky. It's a closed hip posture, so you want to take your hips forward. If you're feeling unstable here, you can always take your left foot out a little bit in your stance, and that just gives you a little bit of stability. Hands can be on your hips, or you can breathe your hands up, and your gaze may follow. Allowing your shoulders to settle down long on your back. Remember to breathe here if you lost your breath. One long line from your top of your fingers to the back of your toes, that left heel. Beautiful. Taking hands down to the mat, stepping right foot to meet left, and rinse it out with your vinyasa. So a few more flows here today. So if that's not feeling right in your body, always okay, like I said at the beginning of class, to come back to your child's pose or your downward facing dog. These flows allow us to link with our breath as well as the fluidity, that water element. Taking your left leg up behind you, looking forward, stepping or helping your left leg this time to the top of your mat. Taking your right foot now on a 45 and coming up to Warrior One on second side. So you may recognize this as Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B for our warm up this morning. So what serves your body here? Always awareness that one side can be different than the other, and that's okay, no judgment, just awareness. Maybe sending any breath into an area that may be tight and choosing a hand expression that serves you here. I'm going to take my hands back up. And if your hands are up, maybe your gaze can follow. Keeping your chin humble. We don't want to take any more pressure onto our neck. So once again, is it one long line from your top of your head, if your hands are at heart, to the back of your right heel, or from the tips of your fingers, one long line if your hands are extended. Allowing those shoulders to settle into your back. Are we still breathing again? Taking our hands to the mat, stepping left foot to meet right, and rinse it out with your chaturanga. I'm coming up into high plank now. Maybe your cobra is a little higher, or maybe upward dog, knees are coming up as in your practice. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. 3 breaths here to reset. Should be feeling all warmed up now. Comes up through our movements, our postures. Invitation as always to inhale your breath and exhale, sigh, let it all go. Let's do that together. Inhaling, sigh, let it all go. Beautiful, guys. Take your right leg up behind you, stepping your right foot to the top of the mat. So setting up for crescent lunge. So you can be here in a low crescent lunge, patting your knee up if you have any knees problems. Or your hands can come up once again. Same, just a little different as far as you're lengthening long like you were in Warrior One, but you're on the tippy toes of your left leg this time, and your foot is facing forward. It's not on the 45. Beautiful, guys. Taking your hands down to frame your foot. And you take your right hand up and twist open to the right side of the room. You can do this on your knee as well. Beautiful, guys. Taking your hands down. If your knee is down, can you pop it up? And if you have blocks handy and you want to have some support for a balancing posture, you can bring your block forward in front of you. So we're going to take our hands and take our fingers forward, and as we're doing that, dragging our left leg long behind us as we stand up for a balancing posture for Warrior Three. So what is accessible to you? Maybe you want to stay here with your hands on a block, or maybe here holding onto your leg, or maybe you want to challenge your balance a little bit and take hands to heart center, or maybe even fly. So again, one long line. Feel like you're stepping on that wall behind you, not losing your breath. Bringing hands back to heart center if they weren't there. Slowly, slowly, slowly bringing your knee up before taking it to either a kickstand. Here we're transitioning into tree. We've never done this before. I thought we could challenge with something new today. So as your tree version here, I'll just turn so you can see me, the kickstand, or maybe you can invite your foot into the inner aspect of your calf, or maybe it's in your practice to help it into your inner thigh. That's not in my practice. Never to compromise the knee though. Beautiful, guy. Feeling that grounding, that Muladhara, our root chakra engaged here. That earth element. Beautiful. Closing your knee up like a book, taking left leg to meet right and shaking that all off. Forward, forward, inhale. Exhaling, bowing over your soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back. And we sit out with our second to last vinyasa. So high or low plank. Shining your heart forward. And meeting in downward facing dog. Three breaths here. Bring your left leg up behind you. Looking forward, stepping your left leg to the top of your mat. So setting up for your expression of crescent lunge here. So you can be low, crescent lunge, or you can pop your knee up into your high crescent lunge, making sure hips are facing forward. You're high on those back toes. And offering your hand expression, either hands to heart center, or once again, breathing your arms up, feeling that you're holding onto this imaginary beach ball, having that tension between your hands, and allowing your shoulders to soften long on your back. Beautiful, guys. Taking hands down, anchoring our right hand under our right shoulder, opening up, twisting to the left side now. Gaze is over our left fingers. So we know where we're going now. We're gonna take our left hand to meet right. We're gonna inch our fingers together, driving in that right foot long behind us as we find our expression, warrior three on second side. Again, always awareness that one side can be completely different than the other. What serves you in your expression of warrior three? And it's always okay just to challenge yourself a little bit. Beautiful, guys. Bringing hands to heart center as we bring our right knee up in front of us and prepare for tree on the second side. So you can use your kickstand. You can take your foot into your inner calf, or once again, offering that into your inner thigh if that's in your practice, but never placing our foot against our knee. And maybe our tree branches grow long. Maybe they're shaking. And I'm just gonna close my eyes just for a minute, just to challenge my balance that a little bit more. If you feel safe, you can try that too. Bring your knee in, closing it up like a book, shaking your legs off. Good work, guys. Thanks for trying something new. Inhaling, exhaling, swan dive all the way down here. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to our final vinyasa, your chaturanga dandasana, your push-up all the way to the ground. Shining your heart forward, whatever version, cobra or upward dog. And we're gonna meet in downward dog and transition into child's pose for 5 breaths. Great opportunity to get a drink of water here. So lengthen your arms long in front of you, letting those shoulders have a little bit of a rest. Good work, guys. Five breaths wherever you are. Great flow, guys. Nice to see everybody this morning. And that feels complete. Can you bring yourself onto your hands and knees and transition onto your sit bones? So just taking this moment to wiggle out anything that may be underneath your sit bones. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor in front of you. We're going to just fire up our bellies one last time with a boat pose. So always reminder to observe what serves your body. I'm going to give some alterations. So you can tip back on your sit bones and just have your tippy toes off the floor, hands are behind your knees. Maybe you can invite your legs up in front of you. Maybe you feel okay to let your arms come to the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let it go. Can we do one more? Alrighty. So again, your version, or maybe you want to challenge yourself one last because you know this is it. So tippy toes to start. Sit back on your sit bones. Can you bring your legs out in front of you? Maybe offering arms long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Belly button to spine. And just curling over and letting that all go. Great job, guys. So taking this time to slowly come down onto your back. We're going to take right leg across, left into figure 4. If you want to get deeper into the stretch, you can thread the needle through the eye of your legs. Not compromising your neck or your shoulders here. breath into any area that may be feeling that needs more attention, might be feeling stuck. Letting that thread go, taking right leg to meet left, and just rotating your legs and windshield wipers just for a few times to reset. Transitioning onto second side now. Left leg, left heel hooks on right leg. Figure 4. If you're opting to thread the needle here on the second side, reaching through the opening of your legs, gently bringing your right knee to your nose, making sure that we're not scrunching our neck or shoulders up. Beautiful, guys. Taking right foot to the ground on crossing, and one more time, just slowly windshield wiping from side to side. Just reset your spine. Coming into our second last posture, taking your feet on the mat, bringing your feet together, letting your knees fall open like a book, your kind cobbler's pose. Taking one hand to heart, one hand to belly, coming full circle here. Just allowing a few moments in this restorative posture before we allow ourselves to rest in our Shavasana. Just awareness, if you're holding on here at all, can you soften even more? And that's feeling too tight, you can just inch your feet out further away from your hips. Five more breaths. If you're feeling comfortable in your cobblers or reclining cobblers and you want to stay here for Shavasana, you can do that. If you want to finish your class in the traditional corpse pose Shavasana, you can extend your legs long, keeping your right arms long, maybe even tucking your shoulders, opening that heart up a little bit, practicing your arms. What is serving your body on this last few minutes of class on Wednesday morning? Know that the time is right, and the sound of my voice will bring you back. Remember that you are water. Cry, cleanse, flow. Remember that you are fire. Burn, tame, ignite. Remember that you are air. Be still, focus, decide. Remember that you are earth. Ground, build, and give. Slowly inviting small movements into your body, allowing that light to enter by Massaging out the back of your head, taking one ear to the shoulder and then opposite sides. We're extending long on the mat, like you're waking up from a big nap. We're curling into a ball, maybe giving yourself a little squeeze on the way there as you transition onto one side or the other, the top of your mat. Taking hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Eyes can be closed or gaze can be lowered. Taking this moment to thank yourself for carving out this time. Being open to flow and breathe and ignite that fire and ground yourself. Noticing any changes that the practice may have brought in your body, your mind, or your heart. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more balanced. It's been my honor to lead you this morning. Know that the love and the light in my heart bows to the love and the light in your heart. Namaste. Have beautiful days, friends. And I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for coming.